Hey, what's up, gang? It's Adam and Lowry from the Commander Smiths, and we got a little bit of this. It's a secret. This might be one of the earliest times we've gone, I guess, with Secret Lair kind of breakdown stuff. We don't even know if we have them all out. That's kind of where we're at. We're guessing at this point, so there might be more that we have here. But at the moment, we are dealing with 6 different Secret Lair drops. Do you want to kind of explain what we're going to do? We're just going to kind of go through this and say if it's worth it.
We got a couple of different packages that they're gonna that they've released so far. We believe everything is kind of released for the super drop, the spring super drop. But
and I did just see on the Wizards site for the first one that it is like, I was worried about that first one, the what's her name, the HATSUNE Miku or whatever artist one, or thing was going to be higher, but that one shows it's at 40 and it's rainbow foil and all that stuff. So we're good with pricing. We just don't know if there's gonna be more. So that's and we don't know the bundle stuff. So that's what
and basically what we do is we talk through it. Adam gives us some prices to see if it's actually worth buying this one or not. And I'll do it right up at front. All of them are worth it if it's something that you're interested in.
Oh, look at that.
If it's something that you like, or if it's something that you're going to use and you want them, none of this should discourage you from getting it. Now, do you got breakpoints and stuff like that this time?
I do have breakpoints this time, and we are going to say for each of us if we think each drop is worth it.
Yep.
And then at the end, we're going to do one spec. So if you really are just wanting to go deep on one of them, we're each going to kind of pick out one that we think your best opportunity to make some money off of it. So, and really quick, breakpoints. What Drake? I called you my son, Drake. What Lowry?
Well, you're Kendrick, right? Peter? I'm Drake. Is that what's going on?
What Lowry was saying with the breakpoints. When we get to that, I'm just going to explain that really quick so you guys can understand it. Breakpoint, what it means is if I give a number like breakpoint 2 or breakpoint 3, what that means is if you buy 3 of a certain drop. If I said breakpoint 3, it means you buy 3 of them. By that point, you get 1 of those for free. So then after that, everything else is profit. So we're all about collecting magic cards, so we want to keep it for ourselves. Right. So the point is to try to get 1 for free. And if you want to make a profit, you can keep buying 4, 5, 6, 7 more. But the number 3, 2, those are good numbers. When you get to 5, 6, that kind of is like, this is just more of a collection one. So hey, we got a new subscriber, Tiberius. All right, Larry, you read it. Otherwise, you got to hit the button.
Sorry.
She can't even read.
Thanks for subbing, buddy. All right, let's get right to this. So we'll start off with our first one, our lead in this one. This one is I might not be saying it right because I don't know this genre of stuff, but it's HATSUNE Miku. And just an FYI with this whole thing, there is going to be 4 different ones throughout the year. So each super drop will feature this thing here. So there might be a collection package to this because of that. So yeah, there's a little spec potential there. So okay, Larry, what do we got here?
And so this is the one that you're saying was $40 in foil, $30 non-foil, and that is the normal pricing for everything. But this one has 6 cards in it. It has Harmonize, which is the green draw 3. You have Inspiring Vantage, or is it Visage? You have
Azusa. You're right with Vantage.
Azusa, Lost But Seeking. You have Feather, the
that's
Redeemed,
that's your baby right there.
I know.
Did you kill that yet?
I've been thinking about taking it apart.
Now you got to just take this and put this as your face commander. You got a nice one for it.
I don't know. We'll see. And then you got Chandra's Ignition, which is a great card for Feather. Yep. And then also Shelter. Again, probably for Feather. The art looks good.
Yeah,
it's not really my style, but it definitely looks good.
Yeah, no, I love the art. Again, like you said, probably not the style, but I love it. I love this full art. I like we have skins on 3 of the cards, which is kind of cool. I like that we have that going on here. Okay, so out of this whole thing here, the big guys in this, well, the commander cards is, well, obviously you were just talking about Chandra's Ignition. You kind of turned me to that card over the last couple of years, and it's a fantastic card to use in Commander. I can use it all over the place, especially in those Voltron-style decks. But then Feather is used. Well, that's a really high-use Commander, but Azusa is our big guy in this one. And the interesting thing about Azusa Lost But Seeking is we already had a Secret Lair with it. So we have something to kind of go off of there. And currently that Azusa is at $40. It was at 20. So again, that's another thing when we're giving these prices. I forgot to mention that earlier. There's kind of a mature period of like 10 to 16 months. So after about 10 to 16 months, you can kind of expect the prices to get where I'm talking about in this. So let's start with the non-foil.
And Aku is thinking that this one's going to sell out the quickest.
Yes, and that's the thing why we're kind of doing this earlier is because last time when we did our Secret Lair breakdown of all this, one of them sold out as we were going live. So we are trying to get a jump on it, help you guys out, help us out, kind of get an idea. You're going to want to buy what you want early just to make sure you don't lose out on this. So anyways, non-foils on this bad boy, again, like Larry said, was 30. The value in this is 50 for the non-foil. And when you take out fees and everything, drops down to 39. For the foil side, we're up to about $85 for foils. And you take about $20 off in fees, since that brings you down to 65. So all that being said, the non-foil side has a break point of 5. The foil side has a break point of 3, which is a good number for foil. And, you know, we kind of stick towards the foil side. I will give one little caveat to this is non-foil prices are higher than normally what I estimate. They're actually a lot closer. I've been seeing a lot. There isn't a huge gap like it used to be. So that number might be a little bit higher than what I'm giving, but I'm just going off of the basic what is out there and everything. And again, like I mentioned, Azusa is the big one. That's the big dog in this, but you also have Chandra's, I think, is going to be about a $20 card. And Feather, Feather, when they're face commanders, like your Feather deck, Feather could be up to 20 because people might want to spend extra for their commanders. So, okay. So, is there anything else? Oh yeah, the 4 already said all that. So all that being said, Lowry, is this one worth it, or is this a no-go for you?
I mean, this doesn't have anything that's like crazy value. The art is going to be unique and I think very popular. I think this also, as I was telling you right before we were going on, it kind of plays into, I think, a green, red, white modern deck that kind of caught some popularity maybe 2 years ago when like Season of Growth was printed, which I'm surprised isn't actually in here instead of the Harmonize. I think our Harmonize is just too old school at this point. Like I haven't the Pringle tax. All right. For me as a Feather player, that is the tempting part. I have a Feather deck. I would play with these things. I would probably put them in there.
Is it worth it? Is that what you're saying?
So yes, I'll say yes.
All right, I'm in the same boat. I mean, most of these are going to be. Well, I'm not going to say that. Not all of these are. Is it worth it? But bundle wise, I'm probably going to get them all. I mean, I am going to get them all. I'm not lying.
Sure.
Here, so
you're saying no?
No,
you said yeah.
Yeah. Breakpoint 3. Breakpoint 3. So this one's definitely worth it there. Easily get your money back after you buy 3 of these. So okay, let's move on to the next one, which is going to be, this one had some controversy with it. It's interesting, but
LOL.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's totally normal Maypril Fools, and this one has a bunch of the upper lowercase stuff. Why don't you? Oh, and one thing there is in Doomblade here, there is one of those misprints where if you look, I can't show it, but where it says destroy
the word wrong, right?
Target, they added 2 E's. So they did one lowercase E and one uppercase. And
but they could do whatever they want in this kind of garbage. Like,
exactly.
the letters
this kind
are
of garbage. What?
It's not garbage. I didn't say it. I finished it. Did not finish that sentence. But you have Doomblade. You have Massacre. You have Torment of Hailfire, which is the huge one here.
Love that.
You have Ruination, which is great for killing off a bunch of those non-basic lands. And then you got Mogus, God of Slaughter. The art is fantastic. Let's start off with that. The words are off-putting, in my opinion. I don't want to say that I hate that they did that, but I don't like it.
I more like the art. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
The art is fantastic.
Like you said, I'm ignoring all that other stuff. You know, we don't know what the cards are and everything.
I don't even read anyway.
Right?
So
I don't know how
it
to
doesn't
read.
really matter, right?
That's why you're reading the cards, because I don't even know how to do that. So there's a couple things to note with this. There is only 1 foil printing of Massacre. There is 0 foil printings of Ruination. And then our Mogus already had a Secret Lair. That was the Stargazing. It's been a long time since we've had it. But that one also has a foil printing. So that one is at $20. So we have a good guess of where Mogus will get to. And this one I would probably put over the other one. I like the art of this Mogus. And then Torment of Hailfire. This is just awesome. Like, this is the big guy in this one.
Right.
That's an 111,000 EDH rec dex. And Doomblade's used a lot. I don't ever use it, but I didn't give that any price, really. That's $5. So really, Mogus and Torment of Hailfire are the big guys in this. Non-foil side of things, we're at 48. Foil side of things, we're at 80. When you put in fees and everything like that, that brings us down to 38 on the non-foil side and 61 on the foil side. So non-foil, again, we're getting, I think the last one was a breakpoint 5. Yep, there's a breakpoint of 5 as well. And this one on the foil side is a breakpoint of 3. So we have a duplicate of the last one, so the same thing. I'm going to start with you again. Where do you sit with this one? How do you feel? I mean, you have all these cards.
Even though Bill from Woodbury is saying that he's a pass on this one because of the way they printed the words and stuff like that, and I totally get it. My thing is, I look at this as the chance to get Torments of Hailfire in foil,
right?
And then I'm going, I don't, I really do enjoy the art, and so for me, this is worth it, just because of Torments of Hailfire.
Yeah.
And everything else is dope. Like I like Ruination as a card. I don't play it,
right?
But I can like cards that I don't play, right?
Exactly.
And again, I love the art on all of it.
Yeah. So Torment just by itself is the price of the drop. So I have that at 40. So everything else is positive. This could be, depending on how everything else goes, I really put the price down low on Doomblade and Massacre, but maybe because Doomblade's used so much that people will go for this one. I don't know, because I really do like that art. I'm kind of sad that I won't use this one, but I'll have it in the collection. So, yeah, this one's definitely worth it. Foil side, non-foil side. I mean, you get a Doomblade, Torment of Hailfire, so that's, I mean, it's okay, but if you're just getting it for the collection or something, or want it in your deck, I think that's a good way to go. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. Again, these aren't revealed on the Secret Lair site at this point, so we're having to find ways to pick these out.
It looks
and
good.
This is from the video. So, and we actually know the bonus in this one. This one is the Showcase Thunder Junction one. So take us away. What do we got in this one, Larry?
All right, so we have 4, and like you said, we know the secret card, which is 5, but we have Greasefang, Okiba Boss. You have Dak Faden, which is he's kind of dead, but I wonder if this is like a hint that he might come back. I don't know in the story. But you got Magda, Brazen Outlaw, Adam's new art for his commander.
That's going for mine, yes.
Kalidas, Trader of Get, and then a card that just spiked, and I'm sure it came down a bit, but you have Norn the Wary, which kind of blinks in and out and all that stuff.
The interesting thing with this is in the video, Norn was revealed at the end. And it's a flip card, so I'm curious to see if the other ones are flips. So Norn has 2 sides. It doesn't need to have 2 sides, but it does have 2 sides. So it'll be curious to see what happens there. What do I have in here? Dak Faden was in the Mythic Edition, so that was kind of before Secret Lair. It was kind of like, I'd say that it was like Secret Lair, pre-Secret Lair. Like, it was like they're testing to see how Secret Lair worked, and they were like, hey, this messed up really bad. I mean, that's how we got our foil sheets. Oh, good for us. I don't have the button. Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, good for you.
Because they didn't know how to run all that stuff. But so Mythic Edition, it's up there in price. I did not go at that price with the Dak Faden, because that was it's a really hard one to get. But for the most part, we have 3 cards in here that are $20 plus in the foil side. On the non-foil side of things, it's okay, but it's not. Your price is going to be $40, and that's before fees. After fees, well, actually, I forgot to add Norin in. That's wrong, actually. That was before we knew what the bonus was. Okay. So that one's probably more around the breakpoint of 5. You add $15 onto Norin, and then 20 on the other side. So we're probably at a breakpoint. Oh, I did. I put breakpoint 4 and breakpoint 3 on these. So the foil side, we are at 70. Plus the 20, so we're at 90 again. So it's the same as the last one, a little bit better. Okay. Actually, this is the best value one we have so far when you're talking foil-wise. So
knowing that Norin's in there.
Norin's in there. Yes, that's the only reason. Like, before that, it was a breakpoint 4 because we had a value of 56. But you add Norn in there, it pops us up a little bit higher. So now, with that being said, all the numbers are out. where are you feeling with this? I mean, I like Magda. I have the special version of Dak, but I like the Greasefang. I mean, also of my Yuriko deck. Is Greasefang even at the I don't even think that's in mine. I'm just reading it. That has nothing to do. No, never mind. That isn't the one.
No,
I was thinking.
that's
I was
not
thinking it was the Ninja one. Never mind. That's not.
Nah.
Yeah,
This is
this
this
is
is
the vehicles
the vehicle
one. Yep.
And so for me personally, this is going to be like, I don't think I necessarily like this art. I like the art. I don't know if I like the border. Like, it takes up a lot. Right. It's just the
so you don't
people.
like the wanted posters from the set itself?
Not really.
Right.
That wasn't something that I really went for either on that. But I mean, again, if you like it, you like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
It's just that sigh.
Well, I look at it and I kind of go like, there's only one card that I actually play in Magda. Like, I like playing it in the 99. I think it's fine in that regard.
I forgot to mention the Magda is 65,000 EDH rec deck, so that's by far our most. Then everything else is around that 10 to 15 range, so it isn't like crazy.
And I do like Dak. I like Dak Faden, and like they're all like very middling cards. Like I've never played Norn or Greasefang. I don't have a vehicle deck, but the three middle are kind of like, and so probably if this is probably the least likely one for me, I'm gonna say no. It is not worth it.
The price is wrong.
But it's close
for you. Okay, so
for
highest
me personally.
value one. And I'm just kidding.
Right.
But that's only because we know what the bonus card is. We don't know what the bonus cards are with the other ones. They might be probably most likely
going to be elves.
Elves. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. But for me, because Magda's in this one, that's the big guy in this one.
Right.
Value wise, if I just wanted Magda and I sold Dak and Cletus, that would pay for the whole thing. So for me, this one is worth it. And I kind of agree with Aku in this way. I just like unique frames, except for what was that one after they did the masterpiece. After Amonkhet, remember that one that was just terrible borders that we had the masterpiece series stuff that was going on?
Yeah. I don't recall what that one was.
That one was
called,
awful.
but
That was like one of the worst borders, and that's one that I didn't like. But other than that, I like you.
Well, and that was the typeface. Like, you couldn't read the cards
right.
either.
That was, you didn't know what color it was. You didn't know
Jesus.
what is going on.
Well,
here.
and that's why I don't like Murders of Markov, like the files arts that they have. Like, they all just look like white cards to me. I'm just like, I don't like that part.
All right, so we have a mixed bag on this one.
Yeah.
All right, then we move this one. The next one's pretty unique. I like the style of this one. All right, so this one is called Poker Face for obvious reasons.
So we have 5 cards in this one. It starts off with Jax, the da-da-da, but that's all right.
Jax,
you have Coffin Queen, which is Jax, the troublemaker. Yeah, from New Capenna.
Yep.
But Coffin Queen, which is probably the first time it's been reprinted.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you got Goblin King, giving Mountain Walk and 1/1 to Goblin is great, and then you have
Professional.
This is Professional Facebreaker, which I am excited about in this regard, and then you got Rankle, Master of Pranks, again another one that I like that one. I like Facebreaker, I like Coffin Queen, I like Goblin King. Jax is probably the only miss in here for me, but what do you got?
Okay, so, and Aku's bringing this up as well. I was going to make mention of this. I am almost guaranteeing, otherwise this is fucking odd that they would do this, but it has to have text in the back. This has to be flips because there is too much going on, especially with Coffin Queen, especially with Professional Facebreaker and Rankle. Like those,
There's a lot
Jax. Goblin King's the easiest
Coffin
one.
Queen too.
Well, that's what I said. Coffin Queen was one of the first ones I said. The only one that you don't really need the reminder text necessarily is Goblin King. You still want to know that you get 1+1 and Mount Walk, all that stuff, but there has to be something on the backside. So I'm guessing these are flip, and I here's my guess. I think it's going to be like what a card looks like, because we have the cereal ones. They did the cereal box, so they're going to do like the backside of a card. Like if you have the deck and you don't have the face cards. They're going to do that and throw the text in there. That's my prediction. I don't know if they're actually going to do it. It'll be really cool if they do. Value-wise, all right, let's get to this. So like you mentioned, Coffin Queen does not have a reprint. This obviously is the first foil printing of it. Secret Lair, we have seen the Goblin King before. That was one of the first couple Secret Lairs, so that one's an old one, but we can kind of price reference off of that. And I might say this one's a little better because it's a lot more unique. And that is all the unique stuff with this. The big guys in this, there isn't like huge ones. Rankle's about a $20 card in foil. Everything else besides Jaxus is $10 to $15. That I put Jaxus at $5. I just, like you said, it's like they did it because the name is so much it's close to Jack, you know. So I think that's maybe why they included it in. They're like, hey, this name is close. Anyway, so so our non-foiler is at 45. After fees brings us down to 34. So really, I wouldn't go the non-foil route because you're not going to get there very. You have to buy a lot of these to break even. And then the foil route is only 65. After fees is 52. So your break point is 5. The uniqueness could bring these up a little bit more, but I'm just going off of what I got for numbers and what we have that's actually out there. So this is your baseline of everything. All that being said, this is by far our lowest value-wise that we've seen so far. So after I say that, and the last one was our highest, and you said that was a no-go, is this one a go or a no-go for you?
Snap get. I like.
Yeah, I know.
I like the art. I
style.
like. You know, I like the style of it. I would play, 4 of the 5 cards. I haven't, but I play Rankle and Professional Facebreaker, like consider them highly a lot of times. So like, I'm not going to get a lot of this. I only buy one unless it's crazy.
Yeah.
So this is a one of for me. So I'll get this one.
Yeah. So I'll be honest, like I don't own a Coffin Queen and I didn't even know what that did. I saw somebody else say on Twitter or whatever that they hope that they actually print Coffin Queen into like a standard set because then they want people to play it more, because it is a cool card. Being able to, like, you can't see what it is here, but look it up. Coffin Queen is being able to play from anybody's creature from their graveyard. You're tapping it, bringing it out onto your battlefield. You can keep this tapped and you just take their stuff. And if the creature dies, then it untaps and whatever. But if you untap it, it gets exiled and all that. So it's a cool card.
If I'm remembering right, I think it gets exiled if it leaves.
Yes, if it leaves, it gets exiled. Okay. So you're stealing stuff. It doesn't cost so much like what's his nuts, where you have to tap a lot and take an artifact or a Geth.
Oh, Geth.
Geth, yeah. So this is an easy one to get out, easy one to bring stuff in. So I think it's cool. I haven't played Rankle very much, but I've seen you've played it before. I have a bunch of specs on Professional Facebreaker, so that's going to hold off for a bit now because here's our baby right here. This is the best one.
Yeah. I have Rankle in 2 decks with Rowan and the new Tesa.
I mean, you get this.
Oh, good for you.
It's not good. I mean, it's a card.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's a pretty. I like that one actually. Out of all the 5 here, I like the art on that one the best. I think that one's really cool. So, value-wise, I would say it's not, but the uniqueness and style of this art and everything with it, and I'm assuming there's a backside to it, I think it's worth it because it's going to be a flip card. These are going to be used. They're going to be the best version of all these cards. And so these will be up there in price. So, all right, now we get into the anthologies. We got 2 of them here. Let's start with the first one, which is Outlaw Anthology Volume 1, Rebellious Renegades.
Okay, and we have 4 cards in this one. We have the original Nicol Bolas Planeswalker. That's 8 mana to come down. I haven't been excited about that since they actually announced it 15 years ago or whatever.
It's one of the
you
first
got Griselbrand, which
Planeswalkers.
is you have Griselbrand, which is banned in Commander. So and the second time they've reprinted in Secret Lair, you have Tezzeret the Seeker, which is also the second time it's been reprinted in a Secret Lair. And then you have Grenzo Havoc Razor, which was an expensive card, but after Commander Masters last year, it got way down there. So I like the art. I like how everything looks. What are we looking at for the prices?
I really like I wish Grizzlebrand wasn't banned because I really like that.
Well,
art with
no
that
shit.
one.
I think a lot of people
Well,
would
yeah, I
want
know.
it.
I really like that card in there. That's kind of a dinger in this one to be banned in this because you're gonna get commander players that are gonna be buying that the most. I don't know if.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a modern player, so I don't know how they play. Do they play with special cards like this? Maybe, I guess.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know about that in the tournament. Like they play with Grizzlebrand,
But
but
they-
I don't
but
know
they play with a
necessarily
special
about this.
version,
Like, is
yeah.
it going to drive prices? I
Yeah.
don't know.
So then that gets me a little weary about the foil side of things, but let's break it down. Let's just go with the numbers. So
Yeah, what's that? What's the other Secret Lair Grizzlebrand?
oh yeah,
What's
I
that?
forgot that you. I was like, was there another one? It was all the demons, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the
Yep.
etch foil version of it.
Yep, all the
So,
demons. So, okay, so this actually has pretty high value on both sides. So non-foil wise, Nicol Bolas is a $15 card. That also was in the Masterpiece series that we talked about a little bit ago. So it's a $15 card base, $30 foil, so we can kind of compare it to the Masterpiece. I did not put it at the Masterpiece prices. I don't do that. I kind of try to guesstimate where I think this is going to go. Tezzeret, you mentioned again, was in a Secret Lair, so we have a good way of guessing where that one is because we already seen it, and that was about a year and change ago when that one came out. That was with that the Japanese one. You had the two different versions, English and Japanese. Those are going for $35 to $40, so that's a good price to figure out. 10 to 16 months from now, this will probably drop quite a bit once it gets in your hands, but then it's going to go right back up to that number, and I think this is a sweet art in that. And then the last two, Grizzlebrand, $10, $15, and Grenzo, $10, $13, which brings us to $70 in non-foil. After fees is $54, which is a breakpoint 3. That's our best breakpoint yet for non-foil. On the foil side of things, value is 90. What did I put? 95. With fees brings us down to 72, and again a breakpoint of 3. But we're dealing with the Grizzlebrand that we aren't ever going to be using unless they unban it or you do a rule 0. That being said, Larry, is this one worth it for you? Is it worth it, or is it just horse?
Is it worth it?
sleep?
For me, no.
The price
I'm gonna
is
go with no.
wrong.
Even again, I like all the arts, but it's the card selection that
Well, it's missing
like
two
I wasn't
cards for
going
you.
to. I wasn't gonna play with Nicol Bolas. Like 8 mana's a lot.
Dude, he's like eating. Is that like a bus or a train or something? There's people
Maybe.
falling out. Look at that. I mean, that's. I know it's not a very
Pretty
clear
cool.
picture, but that's all you can work with when you're dealing with videos and stuff. So
Yeah.
I believe.
And then
yeah, I think
you
it
can't
is.
play with Tezzeret. Grenzo's a good card, but again, it just got reprinted, and I have enough of them. And then Tezzeret,
God, you just want me to do this.
Oh, good
It's-
for you.
Tezzeret's dope. I don't have any problem with it. I think that's probably the best card,
Yep.
most likely that I'd play with. But again, I've been playing long enough to know that Tezzeret really, because it's a tutor, and so I try and not use
Right.
the tutor part of it.
That's just our personal part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just kind of like, this is a very meh one for me. I probably won't get it. Yeah.
So, play wise, I would be in the same boat.
The price is wrong.
But value wise, if I'm just talking money wise, spec wise, I think it's worth it because of just two cards in itself. Tezzeret and Nicol Bolas get you over, almost to $70, just those two cards. I just wish Grizzlebrand. I love that card. I've never played
yeah.
I've never played with it.
I would have to like debate the Tezzeret part though too, because the Secret Lair art on the other one is crazy good.
It is really good.
Like and I believe that artist is really famous and it's collectible in that
That is a good
regard.
point. That is a very good point.
Like I don't think this is on that level. And so
but
I'm not gonna try and price this
Tezzeret-
one. It's
Tezzeret
a
is
legitimate
a-
card.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tezzeret is a very pricey card by itself, like base price and everything. So,
But I don't think this compares necessarily to the first Secret Lair one, because that one blows my mind. That art is
Yeah.
fucking.
yeah,
It's so good.
It is amazing. All right, the last one. Let's get to our last one on the list here. This
All right.
one is Outlaw Anthology Volume 2, Sinister Scoundrels, and we got 4 cards here.
All right.
Now.
4 cards in this one. You have Memnarch, which is the artifact stealer. You have Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger, the original Vorinclex there. You have Corvold Fey Blessed King or Cursed King.
Fey
There we
Cursed
go.
King. There you go.
Yeah, that card was hated for a while. And then you have Corona False God, which is
The old card first.
that's an old one. That used to be like the bad tribe one where
Oh, it has
if,
one
if you
foil
had an
printing. That's right.
underserved one, you just played Corona. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm gonna say like Vorinclex was reprinted into the ground last year during the Phyrexia's
Yeah,
raid.
That's 2 years ago. Well, yeah, I guess the Phyrexia's raid and then the Secret Lair. We had that Secret Lair. And just this is the problem with this one. I love it. But that Vorinclex would be the one that would be like the driver. But 80,000 copies of non-foil and foil are in the wild from just the Secret Lair. Because it's one of the most sold Secret Lairs when you got the Phyrexian bundle there. So this one it's dirt cheap, because it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because it's just they're printed into the ground. And then like you mentioned, Corona is there's one foil
It's
printing.
old school.
But
if this was 15 years ago, people would be all about that. But it's not.
Right.
And
So I
it
did
shouldn't
not
be,
I did
so.
not price for it only having one foil printing at $64. I put this foil printing at $5 because I don't think it's going to be
That's
worth
probably
it.
appropriate.
Yeah, the big guys is I think Corvold could be the surprise in this one because a lot of people like playing it and a lot of people hate it. I have it at 20 at this point, but it could go higher if people really use this as its
Probably
face.
fair.
And then Memnarch is about a $20 card foil and $10 card in non-foil. The biggest thing in all of these, even Vorinclex is in 45,000. That's the most. Corvold's 30,000. That includes it being the commander. Memnarch's only in 11,000, and obviously Corona is only in 3 because it's just not a good.
It's only in
card.
3 decks.
3,000. Sorry.
Oh.
So yeah, value-wise, let's get to the actual numbers. Non-foil side of things brings us down to 40. After fees brings us down to 31. So you're breaking even. Probably not because you got to pay your taxes and all that stuff to get your Secret Lair. So you're actually probably behind. So there's no break point on that side. Foil side of things brings us down to 60. Minus fees brings it down to 48. And that's a break point of 6. So where, after all that being said, and after, I like the art and stuff, but
Right. For me, this one's a no-go
The price
because
is
of
wrong.
Vorinclex being like reprinted so much.
Yep, I think if Vorinclex hadn't got like 80 and 70,000 copies out there in the wild, then that'd be a $20, $25, $30 card. But this is going to be a $10 card. Like it's 10 to 15 at the most. And I just
Because they got the special art from, I think it was March of the Machines, like the
last
black
year.
and white
Yep.
version of it as well. I mean, we've seen a lot. I think it would have been nice to be a little bit further away from Phyrexia before we got any more of those reprints.
Yep.
So
Yep, I agree. I'm in the same boat.
The price is wrong.
Okay, so we don't have the bundle prices. We don't know what they're doing with the bundle stuff, so stay tuned for that. We'll be doing, when that pops up, probably we'll either do it the day of or during the podcast on Monday next week.
yeah.
So again, the release is on Monday at 11 a.m. Central, and whatever time zone you're in, figure it out from there. The last thing we want to talk about is Larry. If you had one of these that you could pick, which one? Actually, let's just hit the button.
In the common tongue, it says one
Spec.
to rule them all.
This is the long one. Spec. I'm gonna edit it. That's really long. Okay, so we have one spec here. Which, if you could only pick one of these out of these 6, and you're putting all the money in on one to try to make a profit, which one, or maybe not just a profit, maybe the best one that you like the most. It doesn't even have to be the profit part. Which one would you pick, and why?
I'm gonna say the was it Maypril Fools one, the one with Torments of Hailfire because
that's a
of
good one.
Torments of Hailfire.
Yep, I think that's a good one.
I think that's gonna be your biggest score. I think it's the most desirable card out of everything here. There was the chance that I was going to do the Feather one, the first one we talked about, but I really think Torments of Hailfire is just going to be a huge pull.
Yep, I agree. I think I think that one's one of my favorites there, but I can't pick the same one as you. But I like this one because Torment by itself pays for the whole drop, and then everything else is free roll in there. So,
you would choose this one, but since you're forced to choose something else,
I think I would go, and I'm not a fan of it. You know, I don't know about it, but I think there's a lot in this one. I'm gonna go with the HATSUNE Miku one for a couple reasons. One, we got 6 cards we're dealing with. Maybe we get a special from this artist or whatever, another card in there. If we don't, it's fine. But we have Azusa Lost but Seeking in another Secret Lair, and actually I would say I probably like this Azusa better than the other one, and we know what the price is of the other. That one's 40. So again, we're dealing with the same thing that we dealt with Torment of Hailfire. And lastly, because we're getting 4 different, this is being done 4 times in each Super Drop this year, this could go up as a package deal. So the upside of this could be very, very high. So I think this would be...
I guess real quick question on this, because I know we want to kind of end this, but do you see it at the end of the 4th one to have a package of all 4 of them being sold together as well? Kind of like
so. They didn't do that
like
with the lands.
Horoscope lands.
They didn't do that with the lands.
They didn't. Okay.
No, remember we kept. That's why we never bought those lands, because they're like, they gotta do a package deal at the end of the year and give us all of these, and then they didn't. Yeah, they just and that's
so
why those
more than
lands
likely if these are going to be expensive and desirable, this will likely be probably the most expensive one, because people are just going to go, oh, I like it, and then by the end they're like, I want all of them.
I got to go back and buy those other ones. Yep, exactly. So, all right. Well, Larry, do you want to do our little tag stuff, and then we'll get on out of here?
Hey, if you enjoyed that, thanks a lot for watching. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you could. Also, tell people about us, because that is greatly appreciated, and we don't tell anybody that we know.
We only know each other when we talk to each other,
Magic card
and
players.
then on the Discord.
Yeah. But other than that, we have a podcast that goes on every Monday night, relatively. We have a lot of little stuff, but either way, thanks for watching.
All right, thanks. See you guys.
Bye.
Sega.
Hey, Meat Force, could you kindly tap the like and subscribe button? And if you're ever in the mood, head on over to commandersmiths.com and you can get the shirts and mugs you see on the screen and some other stuff. Thank you.